I'm going to put a disclaimer right here at the beginning that I'm not asking anybody to harass anybody, not asking anybody to cancel anybody. Everybody's free to watch and do what they want to do. These are just my opinions. Also, if anybody wants to chat on Facebook, look me up on there, Conversations with Kay. I finally got the page up and running, so come see me over there. Now let's jump right into it. We're going to start with Critical K. I forced myself to go watch some of her most recent live debate. I don't know how you can call that a debate, though, but that's what she calls it. I don't know what this Queen of Watts Island is. It's kind of sick, if you ask me. I don't know why anybody would want to use that. But that's Critical K. This is what she does. This is my theory on Critical K. She will always take the offside of a story or a drama or a true crime, because for her it's a niche market, because you're always going to have this small group of people that will believe the opposite of what is true. So she has found a way to get a following by always being on the opposite end of what most people would be, like Shanann Watts. I even read something on her Facebook page about Gannon that was just sick. So yeah, this is a long years of her doing this. I think for her, she just found a niche market and she's going to stick with it. So she's always going to take the opposing view and get those niche views. So now that I got that out of the way, I was watching this and she was having a debate with Rabid Dog, who I think he did an excellent job. Now, if she would have ever stopped talking over him, it would have been a lot better debate. But clearly, Critical K does not understand what a debate is. Here's what they were debating. Critical K was saying, had Chris Watts never married Shanann, he would be a free man today. What a stupid thing to say. I mean, number one, nobody knows if that's true. Chris Watts is obviously attracted to dominant women. I said this before. Had it not been Shanann, it would have been another dominant woman, just like Nicole was a dominant woman, okay? Then as they get into the debate more, Rabid Dog says that Chris Watts is a psychopath. Obviously, he's a psychopath. So then Critical K goes crazy saying you can't put labels on people, and people put labels on her, which gave me a really big laugh. Maybe this is hitting too close to home for her, huh? Let's look at what some traits of a psychopath are. Superficial charm, high intelligence, poor judgment, failure to learn from experience, incapacity for love, lack of remorse, lack of shame, grandiose sense of worth, pathological lying, manipulative behavior, and it goes on and on and on. So, yeah, you don't have to be a doctor to know that Chris Watts is a psychopath. So then she says, Rabid Dog says something about, well, we have to, when we're describing mental illness, you have to use a label so people know what you're talking about, basically. So then she says, well, if he's mentally ill, he shouldn't be in prison. I mean, what world is she living in? Why do you guys think she's so intelligent? Most of the people in prison, especially murderers, are mentally ill. That doesn't mean you get a pass. It doesn't mean you can go killing people because you're mentally ill. That's not how it works. I mean, I've read reports years ago about all different mental illnesses and what they're usually in prison for. And on the flip side of this, there's many psychopaths, and you can say sociopath. They're kind of interchangeable now. But most people feel like a psychopath is the worst level of a sociopath. We all come in contact with these people every day. They're not all murderers. Many of them are politicians, actors, famous people, etc., etc. In my opinion, maybe Critical K. If it fits, I don't know. So, it's not like they all become murderers. but we do come in contact with them all the time, and many times we don't know it. Or in hindsight, you know it, because a lot of times they'll mess up your entire life. She often hints that Chris Watts shouldn't be in prison, which is just sickening. Maybe she is his pen pal. I don't know. Just just a rumor I heard. I don't know. But yeah, Then here's another thing I noticed. Apparently, somebody had called in and said she had information on Nicole and wanted to give it to Kay. But I guess she really dogged her and, turned her off her mic like she always does everybody, which is why I would never go on her channel. It'd just be a huge waste of time. So somebody said in the comments, why were you so mean to that girl? She was just trying to help you and give you information. I don't know why you were so rude to her. But this is what she does. Again, with these kind of people, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't. But those of us that live in I hate to say normal, but live in the everyday world, our things in our life make sense. People like her, they don't have to make sense. She just does what she does, and I think, she talks about how she keeps emotion out of everything. She was very emotional in this live. So, obviously, she can't have a debate without getting emotional. The problem is she doesn't have emotions in the right areas, just like Chris Watts. Or maybe she's just faking emotion. But I like, how she says, too, that you have to keep emotion out of it or you can't be a critical thinker, which is so ridiculous. Emotion is what makes us human. If you go back to many of the police officers that had to get the little girls, they had to quit and go on disability because they were so affected by what they saw. That's human emotion. That's being real. That's being human. These are people that have been in the police force many, many years and had seen many horrible things, but nothing that compared to this. So stop saying that you can't have emotions and be a critical thinker. It's just stupid. It's so outrageous. I want to end on this story with, she keeps talking about how poor Chris is in prison for life. What about Shanann's family that can never see the girls again? They can never call her. They can never write her. They can never get a letter back from her. At least the Watts family can do all these things. He's right where he belongs. My hope and prayer is he never gets out. Ever. Once a psychopath, always a psychopath. If he murdered once, he could murder again. There's no doubt about that. Now we're going to move on to Katie Joy. It's always a busy week for her. This woman is busy, busy, busy. She been going crazy on Twitter talking about her ADHD and other issues that she has, which she made a long list. Listen, Katie, if you're going to put that stuff out there, people are going to talk about it. Stop putting your private information out there. That's my advice. I had said something in another video about it because I have it too. And I just treat mine on my own. I've learned to live with it and harness it. It makes me who I am. It makes me creative. I think it helps me in my art. But everybody deals with it differently, and that's fine. But here's the hypocrisy, once again, with Katie Joy. She's saying how people have called her all these names. Yet, and when we go back and look at her Twitter, how many times have we seen her call somebody a tweaker, a meth head, a drug addict? You can't have it both ways, Katie. You just can't. I don't know how she doesn't see the hypocrisy of her posts. It's crazy to me. And then here came the ultimate one. She goes on that guy's live thinking that she's going to be his ally, and they're all going to be like, oh, poor Katie. Sherelle got you too. Oh, come on and tell us about it. So she goes in his chat, and he's like, oh my God, Katie Joy is in my chat. Now, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to say word to word. the look on his face. So then he decides to bring her on there, and I don't know why she did it, because she was obviously like ready for bed. So that was so weird to me. So she gets on there and thinks this is going to be a big, well, knowing Katie Joy, she probably thought she was gracing them with her presence and that they would be all excited that she was there. And he just starts dogging her, talking about all the lies she told about him. And she keeps insisting she didn't. And then she says it was a long time ago. And then he's like, no, it was a week ago. And then she says, oh, well, I deleted that. Okay, Katie, that makes it okay. You still put it out there, even though it wasn't true, which we all know you have a habit of. So to me, it was just hilarious to watch this guy. He was just so disgusted, and I think he was just so shocked that she showed up. But see, this is Katie Joy. It's all about her. This is, in my opinion, how a narcissist acts. It never occurred to her that she was going in somebody's live that she has lied on and dogged on Twitter and on YouTube. And yeah, you just can't make this stuff up. You really can't. I couldn't believe she did that. I mean, I can, but I can't. I'm just like, Katie, oh my gosh, really? Then all this stuff she puts about Sherelle on her Twitter, you could easily exchange her name. Everywhere she says Sherelle should say Katie Joy. She has zero self-awareness. Zero. And I get so tired of her calling everybody a hate channel. I don't know what's any different than what I do, than what she does, than what everybody else does. We all do stories about things that interest us. And then we talk about other people in the public eye. So that would be Katie Joy, Critical K, whatever. It's not like they don't ever talk about other YouTubers. But the minute you talk about them, you become a hater. I'm not a hater. There's very few things that I truly hate. So, yeah, come on, Katie. Stop it. Stop. Get real. Anyway, that's my thoughts for today on these two. It just, they're just going to keep giving, I think. It's never going to end. This is just what happens when you deal with narcissists. But I'm pretty sure we're going to go live Friday night, so I hope to see you guys there. Go, if you need to get a hold of me or want to talk, go to Conversations with Kay on Facebook, and I'll see you over there. It's a lot easier to talk. It's so hard to talk in the comments here because we can't do links or anything. But I appreciate all your support, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.